Oh, hot diggity damn. Let's see here. Let's get moving. Roy, oh Roy. Kill this fucking audio. Okay, hi. Hi. Look at how quickly I did that. Did you see this? We are essentially fucking good to go. Right away, right off the bat. I'm pretty sure there's nothing I'm forgetting to do. How proud of me are you? Very proud of me? Intensely proud of me? So proud of me? I'm proud of me. Yeah, it's been a little while since I don't know if that's gonna work. It's been a little while since I Jesus fuck ass. I think I've got everything set up. Mm-hmm. Okay, Asa. Fucking idiot. Oh, all right. Is this what we're gonna do? Is this all right? Does this work for you? I gotta get a shot for the thumbnail. Try to make it easy on myself when I make this later. I don't know what to do about these things. That's not a bad one. That's probably going to be the one I use. Is that what we're going to I think that's what we're going to do now whenever we start the streams. We're probably going to do that a little bit. That's so fucking stupid. Yeah, it's been a little longer than I normally like to go between streams. It's been even longer for my other channel, my other thing that I like to do. I think it's been almost 3 weeks over there that I haven't streamed. Um, you know, things happen. I mean, anybody that's been following this project for any amount of time would know I come in waves. Like sometimes, um, sometimes life just gets you, and you gotta step back. I think it'd be different if this was like my the main source of income or any source of income. Um, I would probably take it a lot more seriously in that regard. But because this is something that I have to expend a little bit of emotional energy into and a little bit of time into when I already have a very packed schedule full of very stressful things, um, unfortunately, it does get pushed to the wayside. So I apologize for that if you look forward to these. And I wish I could devote myself to an actual schedule, but unfortunately, I just really can't do that. Um, but if you follow us on the socials, I usually talk about it on at least one of them. I think I posted a TikTok earlier talking about it, saying that I was going to be live tonight. Um, which, by the way, I've been pretty active on TikTok. That doesn't require as much emotional energy, a little bit, because like it is something that I see as sort of like a duty. Like I have to. I gotta go look at weird shit and talk about it. Um, for the views, for the eyes on the brand or whatever. So there is a little bit of emotional energy there, but not as much because we're in like 2 or 3 minute bites there. I do four at a time, then I'm in and out, easy peasy. This is a little bit more, still less than what I used to do. If you've been following the project for a little while, you know that I used to expend way more energy with the multiple shows and podcasts and just a ton of energy. I think we're at a good point right now. I think I'm at a good point as far as my output for this project. If it were to pick up at any point, financially or attention wise or anything like that, then I would probably devote more time to it. But I've got a life and a full time job helping people, and I have a band, and I'm an artist, and I do all these dumb little things, but they're all very important to me. So I kind of have to give them all their small chunks of attention. Anyway, I hope your day's going good. I hope your week has been going good. I hope that since I last saw you, everything has been really, really well for you. I have got my nice warm mug of kratom here. I do have some almonds. I haven't really been eating at all lately. I do have to poke a new hole in my belt, and yeah, that's not great, but also lose weight. you gotta look on the bright side of things. Anyway, so I think tonight we're gonna start looking at Reddit. If we run out of shit, we'll swing over to YouTube and see what we can scrounge up. If y'all ever have any links or any shit that you specifically want me to look at, you can send them my way. Twitter is probably the best way. Atlo Strangeness, but also TikTok. If you follow our TikTok, I think all the links are in the bio. TikTok, I've been on there a lot lately, so send them my way. Let's take a look at stuff that you send me. I'd love to. If you are just joining us, let me know how the audio is, if anything needs to be fixed. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. I stayed home from work today. I worked from home today. I feel odd, a little warm, a little sick. So bear with me. Oh, yeah, so I've got almonds, and I should eat them, but I'm just not in that place to do that sort of thing, to be completely honest with you. All right, let's do the grow down and go down to get the lowdown on this fucking paranormal nonsense. Beep bappity bop boppity bop bop boop. I try to keep it consistent with like the same size every time. I would like to see a GIF of like the different sizes all laid over the top of each other. Let's take a look. What do we got? Right off the top. Gee, I'm gonna adjust this. Hold on. This is fucking me up. Right away, we've got drop your wild theories about Dogman in the comments. So not only is this a post with zero factual evidence or anything, this is just comments, but we're in our Dogman, where we know damn well what to expect. Lunacy. Actually, the Y-Files, if you watch the Y-Files on YouTube, which is a channel I mostly recommend. I like a lot of what they do over there. Maybe we'll look at some a little bit later. They look at, they do kind of the same thing I do. They look at bizarre things. They kind of they fill you in. They do it a little more sensationally. They throw a bunch of like articles of these intense reports at you. And then at the end, usually the host, who I can't remember his name, he's got a little fish, will usually be like, and here's why the party is pooped. And they'll, most of the time, there's been a couple of times I've disagreed with their final statements. We'll talk about that another time. But it's a fairly decent channel, and I would check it out if you are interested in anyone who wants to look at things from a believer/skeptic point of view, like this channel. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is because just recently they did a video about Dogmen and the Beast of Bray Road, which surprisingly, it brought up a lot of theories for things that might be happening. But at the end of it, the host did not come out and say it's just not happening, which I really respected, because that was a couple of years ago when I talked about it. It was also my conclusion that I can't discount it. You'll see the things where people are like, well, biologically it's impossible. I'm not convinced that that's the case. I'm not, and neither was this person, the host of that channel. I don't know. There could be something going on. I suppose that's why I stay subscribed to this dumbass subreddit. And it's not the topic that's fucking stupid. It's bizarre, but it's not the topic that's fucking stupid. It's the way people act in these subreddits. And I know that, like, you're like, click that link. Click it. I want to see what's in here. We're getting there. Here we go. Ready? Drop your wild theories about Dogman in the comments. I didn't look. I looked away. It didn't. All right. From King Monty, we got they are descendants of the Egyptian god of death, Anubis. They are guardians of some sort. I believe they guard this world from other entities. I don't know. Here is this is a good jumping off point for a theory, but it's not really a theory. It's like an idea. Why do you think this? Why? What has led you to that conclusion? Personally, I don't think that this is the case. I guess technically I can't know. It's like one of those unknowable things that can't be proven or disproven. But, like, what led you here, King Monty? From Free Horse, who is a chat of the woods, apparently. Based on a dream I had once about Dogmen, always split wolf skulls and cover your head in their presence. I keep wolf skulls on me, so it's fine. My theory, Dogman is a dangerous and vengeful guardian spirit that can take a physical form to cause harm or scare people away from an area. I used to believe Dogman was a physical animal, but after trying to think where Dogman fits in the fossil record, I was stumped. But the sightings keep happening, and as I looked at some of these locations on maps, a number of them are historically places where Native Americans were either harshly removed from their homes or buried there. Bro, that's just America. And Canada. And if you count the Spanish and South Americans, it's this whole fucking side of the world. It's most of the world, to be totally honest. I mean, not Native Americans, but like indigenous folks, you know, Europeans, they saw land and they just slaughtered everybody. So like you would I mean, like, although arguing myself, all of these places do have legends of similar things. So at least this person is saying why they think that. ETA, though this estimated time of arrival, though this theory doesn't hold water if we discuss Dogman sightings elsewhere in the world. So if anyone else, yeah, you drop the Americans part and it holds water. I mean, not a lot of water. It stays moist, though. I don't exactly have soundproof that splitting wolf skulls keeps them away, and I live in the middle of a city, so I doubt I'll be seeing a wolf skull lying around, but better to be cautious. I don't know if I've ever seen a fucking wolf skull in the woods, ever. You should probably keep one on you, if that's the case. I don't know where that comes from. I have never heard that, and I've gone fucking ass deep in this lore. Like, I've never heard about wolf skulls. I don't know what that means. Cover your head in their presence? I don't know. Maybe, and I've just forgot. I have no idea. But again, guardians of some sort. There. Where did we just see it? Here. Guardian spirit, right there. It's something I've also heard about Sasquatch too. That they're like forest guardians or something like that. I don't know. Or he also says, I used to believe Dogman was a physical animal, but I was stumped after looking at the fossil record. This also plays into Sasquatch lore, especially if you like follow the interdimensional aspect of things, which I know is fucking wild. I know that that's like a thing. It's like a step too far removed for people, for people who aren't ass deep in this stuff, but it's like it's one of the only explanations that allows for certain reports, such as like for example, I'll use Sasquatch as an example because we're talking about the same sort of thing. There's plenty of reports about Sasquatch disappearing, like in front of people, or turning into a ball of light, or sort of just like coming into existence, or it was a tree and now it's a Sasquatch. There's a lot of reports about that, like with that sort of stuff. It also solves the there should be a larger population. Same thing with dogmen. Like there should be a larger population. We should know about them. Where are they? Well, maybe they are just one layer higher or lower, I suppose, in this sort of interdimensional phone book that we live in. They don't have to be here, is my point. If they can slip in and out. I've heard people talk about like lake monsters in this way, like the Loch Ness monster or Champ in Lake Champlain in Vermont, where they're not there all the time. They slip in and out. Maybe it's at will, maybe it's accidental. Who knows? This also, people have talked about it with the missing 411 phenomenon, where it's not that people are just straight up being taken. It's that they are slipping through in these window areas. And this person talks about places where Native Americans were harshly removed from their homes or buried there. I don't know if there's any truth to that. However, I do know that a lot of these places where things like missing 411 happens, or where you hear reports of high Sasquatch activity going on, maybe dogman. I guess I don't like Michigan's a big dogman area, but I don't know. These are places that were known to those groups where that sort of stuff happens, and maybe that's for a reason. Maybe those areas are thinner to some degree, if you follow me. I don't know. The dogman as guardian, the Sasquatch as guardian thing, that implies a sort of hierarchy that I'm not sure I can subscribe to. That implies everybody has jobs and shit, like duties, which maybe we're gonna go way out on a branch and say that just follow me for the sake of argument. I'm not saying I believe this. All I'm saying is for the sake of argument, follow me. Let's say they're real. Let's say they're not corporeal all the time. They can flit in and out of this sort of dimension. If you think about gods and angels and like every fucking religion and piece of folklore throughout human history, there are hierarchies. There are jobs. There are people doing things that they're supposed to do, or people doing things that they're supposed to do. Could these giant scary fucking things be guardians? Jesus Christ. Yeah, if we say yes to all those other things, then yeah, I suppose so. Could they just be slipping through some thin spot between worlds? Yes, we have fewer things we have to say yes to for that to be the truth. Could it just be bullshit? Yes, we have even fewer things that we have to say yes to. The problem with just saying it's bullshit, though, is that there's eyewitness testimony. There are photographs and videos of both of these things, by the way. Not a lot. Way more of Sasquatch than of like Dogmen, but Dogmen has a lot more historic reports from people that we consider respectable. A lot of like historians throughout history have written about Dogmen. So I don't know. That got really off on a tangent. I'm just saying. I'm glad that this person had more to back up what they're saying. What's this guy say? Dogman and Bigfoot are advanced. Sorry, I didn't mean to give you that voice right away, but it didn't help when I kept reading. Dogman and Bigfoot are advanced alien species that come here to hunt and commune with nature. Why do you think that? Why do you think that? They're covered in fur. Why? They probably commune with nature constantly. It's probably Dogman as the result of human canine breeding. I don't know if that's true, because that's not how biology works. But was it Nick Redfern? It might have been Nick Redfern. Wrote a book. Maybe it was Brad Steiger. I don't remember. One of them wrote a book about Dogman and cryptid experiences, and they told their own personal story of being a teenager and coming across. I think it was a couple of dogmen. It was like a pack, I suppose, in the middle of like on this abandoned road one day. It was like them and like four of their friends or something in a truck, maybe just two or three, I don't remember. And they like fucked up their vehicle and they like sped off, and then they later like this person became a paranormal researcher and like went back and tried to look into this event and like found that there was a military base like nearby, and they were right on the edge of this when that happened. I don't know. There could be some sciencey stuff there. Then that's we're talking a third or like an account from someone who makes money doing this. So it's really hard to not take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. Human canine breeding? No. Human manipulation? Maybe. It doesn't explain the historical accounts, but still. Give me 1 second. All right, let's see. What's this last one? We have one more, right? I feel like Dogman is just a canine that evolved and adapted differently than other canines. Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's fucking half the Republican Party believes that there's lizard people, so fuck it. Sure, let's say that we had lizard people, reptilians fucking evolved, Silurians, if you're a Doctor Who fan. Why couldn't we have canine people? Sure. I don't believe that. We evolved in a very specific way for a very specific reason. We independently had to adapt to various things. Dogs' snouts are specifically for like snorting and like pushing into the ground. Humans don't have those because we don't fucking need them. I don't know. I don't see that as being necessarily true. You know what's interesting though? There was a species of alligator a long fucking time ago, well before humans, I believe, that had long legs and used to run at like 45 miles an hour, they think. So this is a fucking alligator with 4 long legs running fucking 40 miles an hour at you. Holy shit. Their thought, the reason that they went out of existence is because they fucking killed everything. They had nothing left. So I feel like, I don't know, if they didn't take over the world, you know, if they didn't evolve to like standing upright. They had 4 long legs and they were clearly the top of the food chain. So if they didn't evolve to like standing upright and like creating direct TV or whatever, they're probably Dogman. I don't know. I don't think that Dogman as a natural evolution is possible. If you look at the religious implications, if you look at like Anubis and the like that the reverence in that way, if you look at like the Middle Ages the Christian historians and their view of the Dogmen and the tribes of Dogmen, if you look at like Marco Polo and his view of the tribes of Dogmen, they seem like there were communities of them, that they were just folks living. I'm not Anubis, maybe so much, but a lot of the Europeans seem to discover them in these small groups, that they were just living their lives and having a grand old time. So maybe in that regard, yeah, maybe they were. There is something in my brain that says, and maybe it's just because I like to argue about shit, but there's something in my brain that says, what if it was a curse? I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying I believe it. What I am saying is, if we have to follow some sort of like ethereal explanation, All right, interdimensional makes sense. That's, flipping through. That's just jumping through a window for the most part. Um, Also, I just want to keep backing up the interdimensional thing because it explains tons of stuff. Um, but let's say it's all right. Let's look at the Wendigo, right? Like the Wendigo is a passed down curse, right? Kind of in a way, like you become a Wendigo when you, if I remember correctly, if you like eat a family member or a friend or something, you become one. So maybe this is something that can happen to you. Maybe you start as human and you become that. I don't know. I would like to talk to a serious dog person researcher and see what they say. I would like to talk to a group of them and get the consensus. I would hope the consensus is not like all this shit here. I would hope that it's more like this with people backing up their fucking arguments. That would be nice. Let's get the fuck away from Dogmen, okay? I did not expect to talk about it seriously for that long. Holy hell. 6 whistleblowers spill UFO secrets to... Oh, fuck. Man, I have not been online. I have not done anything. Like, I have just been bumming in my apartment and at work for a couple of weeks. 6 whistleblowers who claim they worked on military UFO programs retrieving and analyzing crash material have come forward to spill their secrets to senior members of Congress. Wait, we don't know what the actual shit is? Get out of here. Senior members of Congress have spoken to as many as 6 whistleblowers who claimed they worked on Roswell-style UFO crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs, according to a top attorney, a leading Stanford scientist, and ex-UFO program officials. For decades, it has been the subject of spooky TV shows and sci-fi novels, the theory that the government has alien spacecraft in a bunker somewhere and has been trying to disassemble and understand the technology. But things got a lot more real after Congress passed a law last year, creating whistleblower protections for anyone who has worked in such mind-boggling secret programs, suggesting they may be more than just fiction. I just want to point out that those protections don't mean shit for most people in that position. If they want you to shut the fuck up, there's gonna be ways. It's usually a very quick way. The 2023 National Defense Authorization Act, signed into law by President Joe Biden in December, included an amendment requiring the Pentagon to give high-ranking senators classified reports on any previously undisclosed programs relating to unidentified anomalous phenomena, including with respect to material retrieval, material analysis, reverse engineering. In an exclusive interview with DailyMail.com, Daniel Sheehan said he is in contact with at least 6 former government officials or military contractors who say they worked on just such a program. Sheehan represents Lou Elizondo, who ran a previous incarnation of the UFO office called ATIP until 2017. The attorney is also launching a watchdog charity pushing for greater government transparency on UFOs. Sheehan said some of these half-dozen whistleblowers briefed the staff of the Senate committees dealing with military intelligence even before the NDAA passed, and may have been the inspiration for senators to include the reverse engineering language. That makes sense. There are a half-dozen of them that have already gone and talked to them, he said. The Senate staff people were reaching out to some others. Sheehan says witnesses who allegedly know about Roswell-style programs, including a former Defense Intelligence Agency director, have been referred for interviews with the Pentagon's UFO office, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which is essentially just ATIP. A top Stanford scientist says he is also in touch with whistleblowers. Immunologist and Nobel Prize nominee Dr. Gary Nolan was commissioned by the CIA to investigate cases of the mysterious Havana syndrome, inflicting embassy officials worldwide. He comes to be in contact with several former staffers. This fucking article just keeps going on saying absolutely nothing. Former, probably in big old air quotes there. Get the fuck out of here. A Defense Department spokeswoman told Daily Mail that they have not yet found any UFO programs that were properly kept from Congress. Yeah, I fucking bet. You have one organization who investigates itself, shocked. I'm going to just come right out and say right now, DOD, CIA, Arrow, any of you fucking acronym organizations, hire me. Fucking hire me. I'm serious. Get me out. I don't want to be a fucking shitty MUFON investigator. Get me out into, give me a nice black car and a black suit. I'll shave this head. I don't give a shit. I'll wear one of those weird plastic flesh masks that people talk about seeing. I don't fucking care. Hell, I'll continue streaming on YouTube. I'll be your disinformation person. I don't care. Hire me. Let me in on the secrets. Let me know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just give me a paycheck. You don't even have to tell me. I don't even need to do anything. Acronym agencies. I just need a paycheck. Please. All right. So I mean, all that this article is saying is that they have whistleblowers, but they haven't really gathered anything yet. Cool, I guess. 45,000 years old. It's the sacred grounds of Nuala Gabermang. What are we looking at here? Oh, whatever it is, it's gorgeous. Why is it in the High Stranges subreddit? Early rock art from 45,000 years ago. I mean, that fits like the accepted timeline now, right? That's 45,000 years. That's well within the accepted parameters. If you're gonna start really giving me the alternative history sort of thing, you gotta get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. National Guardsman recalls alien abduction experience while stationed in California. Is this a Phantoms and Monsters? Yeah, it is. Do we want to go through a Phantoms and Monsters article? I mean, they're all kind of the same, aren't they? But you get everything you need right here. Let's go through it, though. Let's talk about it. Fuck it. What else we got to do? Hey, if you're just joining us, let me know what the audio is. We're not watching any videos yet. We'll get there, but hey, if I'm screaming. National Guardsman, blah, 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 blah. We're going to go right to lawn site. This came out today. Also, you know what today is? Today, I have been back in New York for... Or actually, that's not true. I left Texas exactly 1 year ago today. Goodbye, Texas. A National Guardsman recalls his experience during a supposed alien abduction and examination while stationed at Camp San Luis Obispo in California. Sorry if I mispronounced that. He was awoken by a small, non-human entity. At Camp San Luis Obispo, a military base on October 15, 2002 at 3:35, I assume a.m., I was awoken by a small, non-human, giving me what seemed like a medical exam. First, I felt hard tapping on my legs, and as the being approached my face, I was fully awakened to one being on my right doing the exam and another at the foot of my bed. Already, this smacks of, like, screen memory, right? Like, he's on a base, he's got fucking people doing... It doesn't sound to me like alien abduction. It sounds to me like this is either a screen memory situation where one thing was happening to him and he was, like, force-fed a memory in some way, hypnotism, drugs, or whatever, wherever direction you want to go with that, or his like trauma response is that it's fucking aliens and it's not like literally just the base doctors fucking with him. That's just my immediate reaction. I don't have all the facts. As I assessed what was happening, I tried to scream. He also sounds like Mac from Sunny. As I assessed what was happening, I tried to scream but had no voice. At that moment, the figure at the base of my bed, that was approximately 3.5 feet tall, with a hood and helmet-like face covering with no seams or collar to his uniform, began to fade and become translucent and then disappeared. Oh, it was Mac's mom. I believe I was either being returned from abduction or about to be abducted when I awoke. I gained control of my voice after the being disappeared. I told my roommate who shared the dorm room, and he believed me, and we walked around my dorm room, waving our arms around excitedly, waving our arms around, expecting to hit the being while it was invisible. We never found the being. My roommate saw a being in the room a different night, but I was not in our dorm for that event. This is just word salad here. I never believed in extraterrestrials until I saw the beings myself. Lon says, I contacted the experiencer, who later stated that he has attempted to report the encounter to various reporting agencies, but none seem to care about his ordeal. More than 20 years, this individual still experiences night terrors and unexplained activity to this day. He now believes that he may have been abducted on another occasion. I mean, that's kind of how abductions go, right? Like, most abductees that we know of have a history. Once they go under hypnosis or therapy, or they start regaining memories in some way. Sometimes it's just natural. They start to realize that there's a pattern, and beyond that, they also start to realize that there's sometimes a family pattern. That, like, if they were abducted, their grandmother has weird memories. Or another thing is that there's usually a first generation military tie. So it doesn't surprise me that he thinks he may have been abducted prior. Probably. If he's an abductee, the chances are pretty high that it's happened multiple times. According to the reports. I don't know. This one immediately screamed to me like it was a trauma response or a screen memory. One of those two things. I don't know. It's interesting. Phantoms and Monsters is always like this, though, isn't it? Phantoms and Monsters is always... Who knows? Because there's almost never pictures or videos or anything on these articles. Sometimes, once in a while, that walking tree one, but the walking tree one was just it just looked like yard work. Give me 1 second. All right, let's move along. Georgia Guide sends my research into this conspiracy. Do we want to see how long this video is? Fucking not 15 minutes. Not tonight. No way. How long is this? It's not that long. Phone call to my dead mom. I have a story that I'm going to tell you right after this. And it's a true story. I swear to God. Trust me, bro. My mom passed away 4 years ago. I miss her like crazy. My sister sends me old photos of my mom that I've never seen. It makes me happy to see pictures I have never seen of her before. I'd never seen her so happy. I look at the pictures throughout my work day. Once I get home, which is around midnight, I begin changing out my work clothes and into my house clothes. I had placed my phone down on the dresser in front of my TV. I go and get a snack from the kitchen and talk to my wife for a few minutes before going to retrieve my phone. I come back to the room and see that my phone screen is on as if someone is calling me. I go over and see that my mom isn't receiving a call, but that it's making a call. It's making a call to my mom. I'm honestly baffled and wondering how that could happen. I put the phone to my ear, but there's silence, and then the phone call ends. In my head, I was thinking, maybe I hit some numbers when I took the phone out of my pocket? But no, I would literally have to go into my contacts and actually hit the call button to even make the call. I was left feeling uneasy and truly bewildered. So, one possible explanation that I don't think can be discounted, proven, or disproven. It's possible that he voice dialed it. Maybe he said something, or there was a sound in the room that the phone recognizes the word mom somehow. I mean, this shit glitches. And the phone just started dialing it. It's possible. He does go to talk to his wife for a few minutes. What did he say to his wife? Did the word mom come up? Something like that. So that is possible. I think. Don't know. Or maybe his mom called. Or was calling herself to say, hey, I'm fine. I'm okay. I know you're thinking about me. Here I am. That could be too. So the true story that I have, I'm gonna grow the screen up a little bit so I can look at you, and we'll go back to it once I'm done. So the true story, when I was 19 or 20, I was living with a few people, and there was a guy that lived with us. He was a year or two older than me. Fantastic dude, really nice. We worked together, we lived together, we hung out together. Really, really good person. And one night, he and his girlfriend, who also lived with us, they were driving home. This is upstate New York. It's spring, but it's cold. It's still snowing. It's still sleeting and shitty out. We are I'm at home, but they are driving through this weather. I think they went line dancing that night. It's fucking small towns. So me and my girlfriend at the time, we are like sleeping in the living room or something, I think, and we're dead asleep. And she wakes up, and she's like freaking out. She's crying. She's so sad, and she wakes me up, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on?" She says, "I just had this dream," and I'm not gonna. I'll say his name's Brandon. It's not Brandon, but I'll say it is. Uh, Brandon was sitting on the couch. He was just black, all black, and he was just looking at me and smiling and said goodbye. And I was like, "Oh, that's fucking weird. Are you okay?" And hug her and like console her or whatever, and try to make it better. Um, 10 minutes later, we get a phone call that he had been hit on the highway. Apparently, what happened was he got out of the car. The windshield wipers weren't working, so we got out because they were all frozen. He like chipped them off. A car came around on the wrong side and hit him, and he died. It was very sad. So anyway, his death hit us all really hard, and it just sat in the air for a while. But we used to constantly, things were happening constantly in the house, and it could have been our emotions, because all of us were very emotional about it. It could have been that. It could have just been this sort of psychic energy that was building up in the house. But weird things were happening. We would sit in the car and smoke weed in the driveway, and we would see him in the yard, like at dusk, kind of walking through the yard, and then just disappear. But we were high in a driveway, and we were grieving. So like, who knows? But that's not the end of it. So this other person who was living with us, he was very staunch and skeptic. And I think I might have talked about this last week or whenever last time I streamed. He came out of his bedroom one day and just white as a sheet, looked like he was going to throw up everywhere, just ruined. And we were like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "Someone just grabbed my shoulder." Someone grabbed his shoulder. Another time, one of us saw him in the kitchen, like I believe it was his girlfriend. I think there was a bunch of us in that house. Went out into the kitchen, lights were off, saw him there, turned the lights on, he was gone. The last one happened directly to me, and it was the last weird thing that happened. So we're all sitting in the living room. It's been about 2.5, 3 months at this point since he's died. And all of a sudden there's a phone ringing. And so we grab the phone. This is still landline times. We're talking 2002, I think. It's still landline time. So we grab the phone, and it's off. This phone is not ringing. It was a wireless phone, and there were 3 headsets total. One in the living room, one in each bedroom, or one of, there was 2 other ones, and they were both in a bedroom. So we go to check those, and they're not ringing either. We pinpoint the sound down to coming from a closet in a bedroom that doesn't have a phone. The girl, who was Brandon's girlfriend, it's her room, and she runs into the closet, and she starts throwing out fucking laundry and just all kinds of shit. Whatever shit she had in that closet, she's just tossing it everywhere. And eventually she pulls out this old fucking phone that is not hooked up to anything. It's not plugged in. The battery should have been dead forever ago. Who knows how long it's been in the bottom of this goddamn box. And it's ringing. And we're all standing there watching her. And she answers it, and she puts it up to her ear. And she just goes white. And she hands it to me. And I say, hello. And it wasn't silence. It was a sort of silence like when someone is there. The phone has been picked up. There's nothing happening on the other end, but the phone is on the other end. And then it clicked off, and the phone was dead. And we never heard anything from Brandon again. That was the very end of it. So to me, that was Brandon saying goodbye to us. And so this person here, let's go back to them. This person here, maybe that's what's happening to them. It's a little sad, but it's beautiful. I hope that when I die, I'm able to give the people I love that sort of comfort. If that's what's happening. Let's keep moving on. Did y'all like the little story time bit? I don't usually do stuff like that on this channel. The story time thing. Sometimes I'll talk about my own personal stuff on TikTok, or I used to write about it a lot. If y'all want more story time, let me know. I have literally dozens of things in my life that I'm not sure I can explain. Photo taken at Llandaff Cathedral in Cardiff. I'm Welsh. I have no idea how to pronounce the language though. Hi all, I've been a para-investigator for over 20 years. I still can't explain this photo. I class myself as a skeptical believer. Took this photo April 2016 in Llandaff Cathedral, Cardiff, old graveyard. First photo is zoomed in. Second is original. The purple haze is an ultraviolet torch that we were shining randomly while taking photos, basically as an experiment. As we know, in certain spectrums of light, we may see more, I assume is what I mean. So we wanted to try it out. This is a great tactic. That's a smart, clever thing to do. Might not work, but I'm glad they're experimenting. Quite a bit of activity on this night. A bit of a lull. So I said to a friend that was me, or that was with me, let's go back to the car for a break and have a cuppa. So I took several photos before we went. Didn't think any more of it until I sat drinking tea in my car. I started scrolling through photos I'd taken and nearly spat my tea out. I said, that's got to be a gravestone or similar. I got so excited. Let's get back down there and see if there's anything that can explain it. Got down there. And we tried replicating the photo from all different angles, and there wasn't another gravestone or anything remotely similar. Let's take a look. All right, so this is with the ultraviolet light, or the touch-up, right? He said there were 2 photos, didn't he? Oh, here's the other one. Oh yeah, so the first one was cropped. This is the new one. Okay, or this is the original. Do we want to do the thing? You know what I'm talking about. This is my friend's new record. Oh, you can't see it. Never mind. I'm not gonna worry about telling you what my downloads folder looks like then. Ah, fuck. No, I don't want to save it as a WebP. God damn it. All right. We're just going to look at this in Photoshop. Give me 1 second. Do I have a Photoshop window? Let's see here. I'm going to try to bring this up for you so y'all can see it. Well, there's Photoshop, but I don't see the thing I want you to see. And why is that? There we go. I knew I'd get there eventually. All right, let's take a look at this. We're going to play with this a little bit and see what we can do about it. Thanks for sticking with me through that. All right, let's just zoom right in here. Go with Old Faithful, the brightness and the contrast. There's not a lot of details to jump on here. It is kind of low res. I don't want to do too much like sharpening either, because there's a lot of artifacting. I'm not really sure. I don't know if it could be a person, I suppose. I don't see anything to suggest that it's not a person besides their story. I will say that this section here, though, seems like it's giving off less of a reflection of the light. It could just be the way the light is hitting it. I don't know. So there's the original. There's ours. Let me see this original again. So that's theirs. I mean, I don't want to say it's a fucking ghost photo, but there's nothing to prove or disprove it, which keeps being our goddamn problem. Hold on, didn't they say? Oh fuck, I thought there was for whatever reason I thought that there was a I thought there was a photo without it standing there. And I'll tell you what, if this happens to you, go back, take another photo of the dead area where there's nothing there so I can see the difference. Because otherwise this is just a neat photo to me. All right, let's see. Moving on. Wow, we've been, it's almost been an hour. I feel like we haven't talked about shit yet. I feel like I just keep babbling. I hope your night's going well. Ancient Library of Tibet with over 84,000 secret manuscripts and only 5% translated. I'm sure it's only the important ones that have been translated. That's wild. That, like, did you ever get irrationally angry about the burning of the library at Alexandria? Because I fucking do. Like, on a regular basis, I think about it, and it will ruin an hour for me, easily. In 1567 and 1568, explorer David Ingram walked across much of North America. During his trek, he reported seeing elephants and claimed that natives made horns out of their teeth. It's reported that this report is a sighting of a living mammoth. I mean, we know small groups of mammoths like survived way longer than we think they did. Like, they're reported to have been alive during the building of the pyramids, and if I remember correctly, there was like small clusters of them in Russia for even long, in Siberia for even longer than that, if I remember correctly. All right, let's see. A leaked document that fully supports Bob Lazar. This is it, folks. If you know who Bob Lazar is, this is for you. And if you don't, then I'm sorry to waste your time. Bob Lazar is like the UFO phenomena in general. You're never going to know for certain one way or the other. How long is this animation?
Everyone interested in the phenomenon have heard about
12 minutes. Do you want to do it? Let's do it. Come on. Come on.
Bob Lazar. The topic about him is very polarizing, and it seems like there's no middle ground.
At least it's a good refresher for you on Bob Lazar.
Some people even hate him. But the reality is that Bob Lazar went head first against the most guarded secret in the human history. In the late 80s, Lazar stated to the public that he worked on a reverse engineering program of unknown advanced technology inside the base Area 51. At that time, the base was secret and the government was denying its existence. He worked briefly at the base, and after a chain of events that involves the government spying on him by bugging his house, the contract was terminated. Bob Lazar didn't know that the government bugged his house and found out that his wife was having an affair. Labeled as a possible liability that would affect his work, they stopped working with him. After that, Bob Lazar acted carelessly and even brought some friends close to the base to observe the testing of the flying objects. This is his original footage made of the observations.
Are we going to play this whole fucking footage?
After they were caught in the forbidden area, Lazar was threatened, and scared for his life, he decided to go public. He told a very consistent story over time. He first came forward with his claims in the late 80s, and he continued to tell the same story in interviews and public appearances ever since. Let's see some of his evidence. The first evidence that was denied by the debunkers but later came out to be true was that Bob Lazar worked at the Los Alamos laboratory, the facility most famous for its contribution during the Manhattan Project and the developing of the first atomic bomb. After evidence of his employment,
what is the fucking paper?
The narrative quickly changed from he wasn't working there to he was just a technician, and later to he was probably a janitor or was scanning badges. Easily predictable about this case. Now imagine what they could have done in the 90s when the Secretary of Defense for Intelligence vouching for him. They still deny that Luis Elizondo had any responsibility in ATIP, despite the fact that Senator Harry Reid, who created the program, released an official document.
That is true. I guess I never made that parallel before, that Lou Elizondo went through the same thing. That is interesting. So, essentially, if you don't know who Bob Lazar is, he said he worked at a top-secret location on top-secret things, and when his story came out, they were like, no, he didn't. Maybe he did. No, he didn't. Maybe he did. No, he didn't. And I also forgot that this just happened to Lou Elizondo as well. Interesting. I don't know. Until something genuine happens in Lazar's saga, I just don't care. I don't have time to give a shit about it anymore. Do dogs have a sense of time? I don't. I hope not. I hope not. Grant them one fucking serenity, please. Jesus Christ. I wish I didn't have a sense of time. It's like, honestly, a sense of time is the worst superpower, and we've all got it. It is crushing. Sorry for the crap photo since I had to rush to take it, but I got this photo around 20 miles from Fort Myers, Florida. It looked like a Tic Tac. Let's take a look. That looks like wings to me, my man. Where'd it go? Where is it? I lost it. There it is. Yeah, you got some little indents here. This looks like, honestly, it could even be a fucking fighter jet. It certainly doesn't look like a Tic Tac. Whatever you see there, I don't see Tic Tac. At all. I don't know how anybody could see Tic Tac. Kind of looks like a folded up Mylar balloon. It's hard to tell without any fucking anything to base its distance on. If this is a contrail, though, that's clearly much higher. This is another report from Fort Myers. Just lights in the sky. They're flickering, which makes me think they're Chinese lanterns. I love good 12-second video. Yeah, I agree. Do what you can to film longer, please. This is a pretty good one. I saw a 10-foot long matte black cylinder off the starboard side of a passenger jet I was flying in out of Fort Myers. The thing was only a wing length away from tip of the wing. It was just sitting there in front of a cloud, completely stationary above an airport. No exhaust, no propellers, nothing. The cloud behind it was drifting slowly, but the cylinder was eerily still. That's a fucking cool sighting. I like that. Eerie as shit. All right. Let's go swing over to YouTube real quick. I don't think we're going to find much. Well, there's us right there, living large. Massive cities near Mars's Mount Olympus. You can tell I watch way too many of this guy's videos because it's like all I'm getting recommended. Is a UFO hidden in the California hills? I'm telling you no. That's clearly a building. All right, we'll do one. Let's go check out what's going on Mount Olympus, and then we'll fucking head out of here.
Whenever I got anxious, I would hit my vape.
Hey, if you've got any suggestions for channels that like cover this sort of stuff, let me know. Like especially like top 10 channels or like compilation channels, so we can look at stuff
Cut the cable with Fios Home Internet.
quickly.
Cut your internet bill to just $25 a month.
I finally cut the cable, switched to Fios Home Internet.
Oh my fucking god, ads are gonna be the absolute death of me. All right, it's a 12-minute video. We're not gonna watch the whole thing, but we'll watch some of it.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. I hope everybody's having a great day. Folks, we're going to have a look at Olympus Mons, one of the largest volcanoes here in our solar system. I think it's about 374 miles of radius. Really big volcano, right? Now, I've often said this is not really a volcano, or they built around and on top of this volcano. Now, I've done a video a while back, and I'm going to show you that right now, and then we're going to jump into Photoshop. I'm going to first show you a couple things that kind of stood out, maybe you want to jump on this photo. Let's just jump right into it. Okay, you can see right here, Mars's Olympus Mons, more than just a volcano. You can check that out. It was about 3 months ago, and the stuff I found in there, like at the very bottom, it looked like it had an overhang, like there were structures underneath it. Now I'm going to show you the photo we're going to look at, and this is pretty cool. This was on Lincolnton. You can see it right here. Took it into Photoshop, rotated it about 84, 85 degrees counterclockwise, and then we went into this photo. Now, there's something I noticed that really caught my attention, and then, of course, all of the spot blurring and everything else. Let's just show you what I'm talking about. Now, I'm also going to
Show it to me.
Here, and you see it's from NASA, and it talks about the size of the volcano, 374 miles in diameter, approximately the same size as the state of Arizona. Okay. Now, folks, just Google this yourself. Just put Olympus Mons. Just Google it. It seems to take every different shape possible than what's really there. You can just tell this thing has been manipulated. Now, I'm not saying there's not an Olympus Mons.
What is he talking about? I've never looked into this, so is there any truth to this sort of shit?
We're seeing it and they're making it look like a volcano, or it is an actual volcano, in that there's a bunch of structures built underneath. Again, it looks like it has this almost like roof, natural roof coming out of the thing on the very base of it, and there's structures all the way around this thing. Just crazy. You can go back to the video I just showed you, and you'll see what I'm talking about, and it is pretty cool. Now, let's just jump right into Photoshop. Okay, this is the photo I had showed before in my last video, and you can see it right here. Now, this is not the full enhancement. I'm just lighting it up so you can see it a little bit better. But, folks, what's in the background here? Okay.
Atmosphere?
Right, I said
Dust?
in the last video I did of Olympus Mons, where you have this straight line.
Oh, that shit?
It look like structures.
Is that not just a shadow of, like, look, you can see it right here. Is that just not a shadow?
Very large, okay? Now, why is this important? Because when I show you the higher up satellite view of this volcano and what's on the side of it, this is all going to make sense. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if we were to show this photo right here, we'd be looking at it in this position, going over part of the volcano into this area. Notice how there is something here in this area. So you'd have to be somewhat in this area and having a look. Now let me show you again. See it? So we're looking over the volcano onto this area.
Yes.
See what I mean? So let me show you this real quick. I'm just going to zoom in. And folks, look at the spot blurring in this. This is crazy.
Because you're fucking
Blurring is
80
accurate.
million miles away.
Don't get me wrong. There are compression artifacts. These are not. Because you would not see spot blurring like this. Notice how we get some clarity, somewhat clarity right there. And again, boom, right here. There is more spot blurring. Why? What's there and what are they hiding? All the way here, you can see this. Notice, though, it has a lip. And you can see what looks like structures underneath it.
But yeah,
right
but
beside here.
all right. So what he's saying though is this is too smooth. But holy fuck, he's miles and miles above the surface that this photo is taken. These little specks and shit. These are like big ass ridges. Like this is going to look smooth because there's no like fucking rolling mountains there. That's what this shit here is. I don't think it's spot blurring at all.
Also right here, you're going to see this cutout right here doing this. And it looks like there is a rectangular object there. Here, you'll see this a little bit better because we really go to town and get this thing revealed. But this is what really caught my eye. I'm going to back out a little bit. Looks really, really distorted. This area right here had like this weird pattern, kind of weird shape, right? And again, we have blurring and everything else, okay? This whole area is completely blurred out. Now, why would they blur something out and then leave a little bit of detail right in here? But the detail is what got me, okay? And again, folks, I'm going to reiterate, and you can see right here, look underneath where these pieces are white, underneath this so-called lip. But again,
All right,
we also see
you got to get to the city.
half that cutting right straight through it, roughly, because it's not exactly completely round. We can see that. So even if we were to cut that in half, straight to it, okay, these things would have to be rather large, okay? Now, that doesn't mean it's one big structure. It simply means that there's a whole area.
I wonder if I skipped over him talking about this.
See that? We can see what looks like multiple structures. Compression artifact is that this.
I'm just skipping around.
Now let's go to the black and white. And let me show you what I'm talking about.
It's like the only thing in here that catches my eye.
Folks, come on, check this. Okay, and then firstly, this is cool. I told you about all of these other.
I don't think he even talks about it.
And look at what we got. Again, this piece right here We can see barely right here, there's other pieces. Looks like another little square type piece, another one here.
That
All
part is
inside
cool.
this area.
It's too compressed for
like
me to see
structures,
anything, but
folks.
it's cool.
And glasses, folks. And check out the smaller details in here, because you can see what looks like structures.
I honestly think this entire
Inside
video is
of
just
this area,
compression artifacts,
we
and he's
have
just
this
looking at it.
Area of
And taking,
blurring.
He's not taking into
How they
effect like
purposely
how
took it out.
far away this
We
is.
got it right here. You can see this. If we zoom in, energy they can get out of these things, and that may be the case. Kano.
Well, they can't all be fucking winners, you know?
Absolutely nothing going.
I do love that channel, though. I love what he does. At the very least, it's entertaining as shit. Anyway. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. And I'm probably going to make dinner. I'm probably not going to make dinner, to be completely honest with you. I'm probably going to eat 6 almonds and watch Evil Dead 2 again. And then go to bed. Yeah, so I'll try to stream at least one more time within the next week or so. I don't like going the long stretches without it. This gives me something to like focus on besides the other little million projects I have. I bought a fucking mini ring light for my phone, so when I'm making TikToks, I can look pretty. I just look worse. There's way too much fucking detail here. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. My name's Asa, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Take care of yourself. Have a great week, weekend, and a life. I love you. Goodbye.